Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so that whenever we release a video at the Jamaica Young Police channel, you'll be the first to receive the same. Remember to share the video with your friend, your mama, papa, girlfriend, boyfriend, and your side chick and side man. Yes, and post a comment below, even just to post and say, I am here to show your appreciation of the work that we are doing here at the Jamaica Young Police channel. And thanks for being a part of the movement. So, moving on. We at the Jamaica Young Police channel, we hate criminals with a passion. So here's one of them. This guy's name is Javon Pinnock. Yeah, aka Froggy. Have a distinct scar on the left side of his face, and him eye go all the way down to him cheekbone. And you know, more or less is a Jamaican do that, you know, telephone cut. I don't know how them come by that thing for, you know, to scar people face like that, and that it's just awful, but terrible people. So this man that you're looking at, his name is Javon Pinnock, aka Froggy. Yeah, Froggy them call him on the street, and he's wanted in New York, in Queens, New York, for the murder of Javon Jamison, a Jamaican youth them called Blingers. Yes, and Blingers was killed almost 2 years ago by this man and another man named Christopher King. Christopher King is in custody in New York, awaiting trial for the murder of Jamison. So we are appealing, we are begging, beseeching you Jamaican people in Jamaica and the diaspora, wherever you see this man, to inform the police, whether it's 119 or 911, and let them know that this man is wanted in New York for the murder of Javon Jamison, so that this man can be placed in custody or go straight to the departure home where he belongs, and that's justice. And we say that because we hate criminals with a passion, because there was no reason for this man to kill Blingers, because Blingers was not a threat to him at the time. It was murder, clear murder. Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Alright, so you watched the state funeral, yeah man, courtesy of the Jamaican government, the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defence Force, for the old corals and corobunkers and dirty bongo. Yes, up near Titman, Loban. So, you know, we're gonna people have been asking, you know, Jamaica Young Police, oh, you know, do no video about Titman, and boy, I will see how the state pump him up like him as some big time hero, like him serving at the police force or the Jamaica Defence Force, and him a get state funeral. I've said the same thing when it comes on to Termite and Papa up by Augustown. You know, it was the same thing that I've said, because criminals are supposed to have these fanfare funerals. But I guess, you know, after you watch all of these videos, you know, I had spoken to a high-ranking official in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. As you have known, I'm a former member, so after you watch this video, I'll address the matter, in which, honestly, I am totally upset about it, but you have to understand, I am not in charge, so you watch, you listen, and you decide. One
Come like a Andrew Berry. I'm not Daniel Berry, Andrew. One Danny Badness. No pussycat. One Danny Badness. One Danny Badness. Love my Danny. Come like
let him go. Una let him go. If you let him go, you're not that good and suffer. We're not going to suffer. No, sir. The kids them father. The kids them father. The kids them father. The kids them father. Yeah, the kids them father. Come back, my kids them.
Because we live in, don't you cry, everything was hard.
Yes, whether you like the Jamaica Young Police channel or not, I care zero about how people feel about me. But I will say that our man like Titman, O'Neal Titman Loban, ended up getting a state funeral in Jamaica. The same thing that they have done with Termite and the same thing that they done with Papa. It seems like when these people are known murderers and have a certain amount of body counts behind them, the state treat them differently when they are being buried. And I totally disagree with this kind of security measures. But you know that the people in the security apparatus, they have to comply and complain. But as I said before, and I'll say again, I am not into these kind of where they showcase these guys have some heroes. So, and some people ask, how did a murderer like O'Neal Titman Loban receive a state funeral courtesy of the Jamaican government? It is one of the most troubling contradictions in modern Jamaica. A man widely recognized as a notorious gangster, accused of multiple murders, extortions, and community terrorism. O'Neal Titman Loban was laid to rest under the full watch and protection of the security forces. He spent his life undermining. Titman was no misunderstood youth or marginalized citizens caught in the wrong crowd. He was a reputed leader of the One Order Gang, an organization that has left a long trail of bloodshed and fear across Spanish Town and wider Jamaica. His involvement in organized criminal activity was well documented. Police linked him to several high-profile murders, including those of Arville Reed, Anthony Tony Meng Harris, Andre Rumblocks Dixon, and Ricardo Jaja Gardner. Despite his track record, the Jamaican government allocated significant police resource and military resource to monitor and secure his funeral on Sunday, March 30th. Yes, officers were stationed across Spanish Town. High-tech drone surveillance hovered overhead. Roads were blocked, traffic were diverted, and the giant anti-gang task force, the very team that hunted him down, was now indirectly playing escort and security detail at his sender. So the same police them hunt him down and send him to the departure alone and make certain say them bury him. Boy, I tell you, well, that's kind of cool still. So let that sink in. Taxpayers funding security forces were deployed to ensure that a murderer's funeral was incident-free. A state funeral in all but name. The funeral held at Perry's Funeral Home and Services Chapel on Job Lane saw an elevated level of law enforcement presence, typically reserved for official dignitaries or high-ranking public servants. This was no ordinary burial. It was a full-scale operation. Police claimed they were there to maintain public order and ensure the safety of the funeral attendees and the general public. But here is the hard truth. Their presence didn't honor public safety as much as it shielded and legitimized a criminal legacy in front of curious and sometimes admiring public. That may I tell him that's why I'm totally against them thing here. And this is hard truth. Their presence didn't honor public safety as much as it shielded and legitimized a criminal legacy. By doing this, they might legitimize Titman legacy in front of curious and sometimes admiring public. You can't do that. It's just sad. You know, I want to the youth them. When the youth them say this, what that them want, I get where me come from, you know. Yeah. When General Starkey was killed, every youth, because of the amount of people, how them talk about him like him as some hero. Every youth in a group in my age group want to be the next General Starkey. Only two of us is left. Everybody straight to the departure lounge from gunshot, except Skellion. The optics are damning. This was a man responsible for destabilizing entire communities. A man whose criminal network, in the words of law enforcement, extend far beyond Spanish Town, infected parishes across the island. Yet in that, he was afforded the kind of respect and organized state management that the very victims of his terror are really given. So the people that were him killed, them not getting a police escort, them not getting up. They're not getting, you know, all of them things there. You understand? It's just sad. Oh, we reach a point here. The dangerous message to the youth, let's be absolutely clear. Deploying massive police manpower to protect the funeral of a gang leader sends a confused, dangerous, and morally bankrupt message to the youths of Jamaica. It says you can kill, extort, and terrorize a decade, become the don of your community, and if you die, as long as you were powerful and popular, the system will protect your image and your mourners. What a sure, them thing I make all Christian cuss. Me no support them thing here. No gang leader not supposed to get them thing here. It's send a confused and a moral bankrupt message to the youths of Jamaica. We can't, you know. I don't know who's behind this. May I tell you, say, listen, liberalism is a mental disorder, you know. And must some liberal come up with them madness, you know. Because I saw them stay, you know. And guess what? Them in a both side of the aisles. You understand? A legitimized criminal legacy. Sends a confused message. You can't do that, man. Them things are just madness. So you tell a man, say, boy, you can't kill, extort and terrorize decades and become a don of your community, and if you die, as long as you were powerful and popular, the system will protect your image and mourners. It legitimizes criminal lifestyles in the eyes of the poor and impressionable. It says that the state will spend millions to police your death, even if it failed to convict you in life. The state will spend millions to protect you in death. That is just crazy. Oh, we reach a point here. Remember one time, no criminal get them thing here. Who come in with them thing about you protect mourners? Who care about them? Worse yet, it set the stage for even bigger circus-style funerals, turning these farewells into theatrical performance. Funerals are no longer quiet reflection. They have become parades of badness, marked by designer suits, foreign liquor in the casket, and social media premieres. The government's silent role is in glorifying violence. This is not about Titman, it's about a broader system failure. The same government should be leading the charge against gangs. Through its actions, or lack thereof of discernment, blur the line between justice and appeasement. No amount of drone surveillance can hide the fact that the resources used to secure Titman's funeral could have been used to patrol school, protect vulnerable communities, or support families displaced by gang violence. This is the very definition of misplaced priorities. And when acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Christopher Phillips said the gangsters will never again be allowed to control Spanish Town, one must ask, how serious is that claim when men like Titman are buried with more coordination and state oversight than many law-abiding citizens ever receive? If somebody dead and you want police to escort the body, like, you have to pay for it. The Titman them pay for it? Did the one other gang pay for it? They find an insult public order for a public enemy. The most bitter irony in all of this is that the police were forced to defend public order because of the very man who lived to destroy it. That's them thing I met Christian first. His death in a gunfight with police was met with immediate unrest. Schools closed, businesses shut, and the entire communities were on edge. And yet weeks later, the same community gathered to celebrate his life, while the government quietly ensured the show went on smoothly and without disruption. It was the final insult, a symbolic elevation, elevating this man, elevation of a man who stood for everything the state claims to be fighting against. Jamaica is at a crossroads, and we cannot afford to continue glorifying criminality through silence, complacency, or state-enabled spectacle. Titman should have been remembered only as a case study in how not to live, not for a man being like the main attraction in the security-assisted extravaganza. To every young man watching this unfold, remember, crime buys you bullets or a box, not a legacy. And the government, public art. Yes, big thanks to everyone who reached out via the channel's telephone number to show interest in subscribing to our new platform, one that builds to speak truth to power and impact every single person living in America and around the world. It doesn't matter if you are black, white, yellow, green, blue, or red. This message is for all people who believe in freedom, truth, and justice. Yes. As we have said before, the name of the new challenge speaks for itself. United we win, divided we lose. And you're looking at, most people say that they cannot find it and all kind of things. So now, getting the feedback from, from most of you people, in which, we can't even count the amount of people that reach out to us and leave message. We cannot find it. You have to understand that my voice, this voice is not a voice that has been loved by the powers that be. Because when you speak truth, they try to censor in every way. But guess what? We're not going to stop. So, united we win, divided we lose. That's not just a slogan. It's a fact. It's a call to rise above fear and stop playing it safe, while the system quietly chews up and spit us out, even you. Cowards might think they are staying out of trouble by staying silent, but in the end, we just say it runs there spiritually, mentally, financially, and politically. So here's the truth. It is better to live a life and die as a free, honest, decent, honorable, and truthful human being than to exist as an obedient, broken slave, begging for crumbs from a table that was never built for you. For over 400 years, our ancestors, we are taught black people, cried out to a God. They were taught to fear, kneeling and praying to a man in the sky, while their bodies were chained and their minds conditioned. That didn't free them. What did? Knowledge courage, unity. Men like Taki, who the same Maroons in Jamaica kill, chop off his head and put on a pike. Taki is the one why the United States of America exists today as a republic, but they won't teach the white people in America. A black man who took on the British Empire and won. And it's time we walk that same path. Any bolder? This new channel is not for the weak-hearted, the lukewarm, or for the comfortably numbed. It's for those who know who they are, God's children, defined by nature, fearless by choice. If that's you, welcome on. To the rest, stay away. We don't need friends who are secretly enemies. We don't need deadweight, doubters or deceivers. When we say enemies, we're talking about everything that stands against the truth. Lies, manipulation, division, cowardice, and blind obedience. No more lies, no more games, no more silence. This channel is the battleground for truth, and we are not backing down. How many times can they kill us once? Millions of our ancestors has died for this, for the little freedom that we're enjoying. God created every man equal, but some think that they're superior. And those who think that they're superior, just look, not one of them have ever been the fastest one in the world. Their genes are recessive. Our genes are dominant. So please, subscribe to the channel. We know that we are being sabotaged and tampered by the powers that be. But as time goes by, the truth will reveal. They should serve the public good, not the public enemy. What kind of madness that? Until we stop giving killers symbolic state funerals, we will never break the cycle of violence, adoration and destruction that continue to bleed this country dry. That's why people don't like me, because I talk the truth. What the government has done is madness. Titman should not get on a state funeral, because this is something that boggles the mind. So to those with low IQs, those easily mesmerized by glitter, gold, and gimmicks, let this be a slow burn wake up. There is nothing cool about dying as a gangster. No matter how flashy the casket, how expensive the suit, how many bottlers NSC ride with your corpse, you are still dead. 6 feet deep, rotting beneath the same dirt as the poor man with no name and no shoes. All the accoutrement, $20,000 suit, designer watch, 36 carat rings, and staircase to heaven backdrop, in which that can't buy redemption, cannot buy redemption. There's a seat in hell. You see, Satan was there to meet him. They may fool a few on Instagram, YouTube, but they can't change your legacy, your victims, or the pain you brought to families and communities. And the people that wonder the badness, like this man a hero. This man should have dead from in a child. His mother should have dead in a child, dead. Make him dead from in a child's birth. This warped glorification of death. The idea that you can murder, extort, terrorize, and then be celebrated with fanfare is a cultural cancer. It sends the wrong message to young, impressionable minds who now believe that if you die in luxury, it somehow erases a life in wickedness, which is not true. So let's be clear. A stylish coffin is still a coffin. A man buried in diamonds is still dead. And a legacy of violence, no matter how pretty it looks in picture, is still a legacy of destruction. So to the young men watching these so-called bad men being idolized in death, don't be fooled. They are not being honored. They are being exhibited. They are not at peace. They are just finally silenced. And when your time comes, don't expect anyone to remember you for the blood you spilled. Just the suit you wore and the chaos you left behind. You want to be remembered? Live light. Live your life right. Build something, protect your community and uplift others. Because when the lights goes down and the liquor dries, only your actions will echo, either in praise or in shame. So you choose wisely. Titman is not the kind of person He was not a figure to admire, celebrate, or emulate. He was not a champion of his community, nor was he a misunderstood man. Titman was a violent enforcer of chaos, a man who thrived on fear, extortion, and bloodshed. His name etched in the headlines, not for his heroism, but for the homicides represent everything that continues to cripple the progress of our nation and destroy the potential of our youth. For any young man looking up to Titman, thinking that his notoriety is something to aspire to, understand this. His life was built on a foundation of pain, death, and intimidation. He used his influence not to uplift, but to control, manipulate, and exploit. He didn't leave behind a legacy of empowerment. He left behind broken homes, grieving families, and shattered communities. Calling someone like Titman a role model is an insult to every hardworking, decent father, teacher, police officers, soldiers, mentors, and builders who sacrifice daily to make a better life for others. True role models uplift, educate, and protect. Titman did the opposite. He was a human parasite, feeding off the lifeblood of his own people for power and personal gain. Fathers, warn your sons. Mothers, shield your children. Teach them that being feared is not the same as being respected. Remind them that dying in a designer suit doesn't erase a life spent destroying others. Let them understand that the real greatness is not measured by how many people kneel to you out of fear, but how many people, lives you raise up through love, guidance, and integrity. In a time when the lines between fame and infamy are being dangerously blurred, we must draw a clear line. Titman is not a hero. Titman is a dirty bunker, carousing and carabunkers, who should have been sent to the departure along from the first person he had taken that person's life. He is a cautionary tale. And if you want to reclaim our community and steer our youth in the right direction, we must stop dressing up parasites as king. Titman was a parasite, a human parasite. There is no justification whatsoever for deploying dozens, if not hundreds, of police officers to protect the funeral of a known criminal, especially one like Othniel Titman Loban, who represent everything that stand in the opposition to law and order. It is not only a gross misuse of state resources, but a deep insult to the very officers who risk their life daily to bring men like him to justice. Let's not sugarcoat it. Titman hated the police. His supporters hated the police. His gang terrorized, threatened, and even killed police officers. And yet, in death, he was afforded a level of protection and coordination that most law-abiding citizens will never experience, not even in their most vulnerable moments. So the question must be asked, why is the Jamaican state offering protection to people who proudly reject and oppose it? The cold hard truth is, when criminals are being buried, let those who support them take that risk on their own. Let the sympathizer, cronies, and gangs affiliated go to the funeral on their own peril. If rival gunmen are watching and waiting, so be it. That's the nature of life they choose. It may sound harsh to some, but harsh realities are often the only language criminals understand. If people know that attending a gangster funerals means putting their lives on the line, the celebration will shrink, the crowds will thin, the parading of badness will die. Why? Because fear of bullets is more pervasive than fear of jail in today's Jamaica. But when the government stepped in to save lives and orchestrates a peaceful, orderly gangster funeral, the message is sent to the youth is dangerous and distorted. Titman must have been an important person. Even the police showed up for him. Even the state respected him in death. That's a tragic lie. And it plants a deadly seeds in the mind of the vulnerable young boys who are already looking for identity, validation, and power. Instead of steering them towards schoolwork and nation building, this confused, Three, pushes them towards crime because they think that if they die like a Don, they will be buried like a king. Let's be clear. Titman was not a king. He was a killer. He should not be mourned with honor. He should be remembered as a warning until the Jamaican government stop facilitating these spectacles and start treating these funerals or what they are, rituals of criminal culture. We will continue to see young lives lost in pursuit of false glory. Sad indeed, tragic beyond words, but reversible if we find the political will to act. The government's silent role in glorifying violence is on display and send a confused, dangerous and morally bankrupt message to the youth of Jamaica. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.